Hi Libra, my name is Darlene Dotson, and this is your Destiny of Truth for January of 2021. We have on the 1st, Mercury in Capricorn in your 4th house, sextiling Neptune in Pisces in your 6th house. This is a sextile, so you have to work to use the energy or it will pass you by. We have Mercury here. You're communicating with your family, your home base. You're looking at your stability in life. And you're looking at all the illusions that have been painted for you in your work life. While it can be good also where you're getting more creative in your work life, it just depends on how you're using that energy. And you're also could be getting more stable and stability in your life. And you could also have illusions about your health, and you're going to need to take a look at them. Now, on the 4th, we have Mercury in Capricorn in the 4th house, conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn in the 4th house. And you have a big transformation happening around home and family, your secure base. What makes you feel secure? There's a big transformation going on there. It's like all the dead wood has been just taken out, and now the transformation that you've always wanted is happening. Now, on the 6th, we have Mars in Taurus moving into your 8th house. You're going to put action into your most intimate relationships. You want them more stable. You want to know that your home base, is on solid footing. It can also, you're looking at deaths, taxes, wills, things of this nature also. Okay, now on the 8th, we have Mercury moving into Aquarius, into your 5th house. And you're going to be thinking more and also voicing more things with the people that you date. Also, if you have any children or thinking about children, this is a time you're going to be doing that. And then you're also going to be thinking and speaking creatively. Okay, you are a creative person, Libra, but you don't use it often enough. You get fixated with one way, and that's it. Now you're being asked to look at how you can be creative in another way. Now Venus moves into Capricorn in your 4th house. Now Capricorn also rules the 10th house natally. So you're looking at how to make your home base more secure, more stable, to give you more power. Now, also on the 8th, we have the Sun in Capricorn in the 4th house, sextiling Neptune in Pisces in the 6th house. And you're really taking a good look at your health and your work life, okay? Because you want your home base more secure, more stable. And you know that health-wise and health-wise and job-wise that you've got to build that yourself. There can't be any illusions around it. It's got to be on solid footing in order to, build that secure life that you want. Then also on, we have Mercury and Aquarius in the fifth house, squaring Mars in Taurus in your eighth house. And pretty much your children or your creative life or um, your dating life, okay, is giving you challenges due to the actions that you're taking with other people's money, death, looking at wills, the transformation that you're making within yourself and ridding yourself. You might find that you want a totally different type of person, dating wise, than you have in the past. Okay, you've grown. Then on the ninth, we have Venus in Capricorn in the fourth house, trining Mars in Taurus in the eighth house. And you actually like the actions that you're taking. It could be with astrology, with the wills, like I said, with Terra, with rising from the ashes, so to speak. You like all the actions that you have taken because now you feel more secure than you ever have in your home life and with the stability that you have. But Libra, you need to pat yourself on the back because you've created this. Nobody else did. Then on the ninth, we have Mercury in Aquarius in the fifth house, conjuncting Saturn in Aquarius in the fifth house. And you feel like your voice is being restricted in some way with your children, in your dating life, in your creativity. You just feel like, you can't voice what you want to voice. And you're also thinking about why this is happening. Um, then on the 12th, we have Mercury in Aquarius in the fifth house, and that is now conjunct Jupiter in Aquarius in the fifth house. And things, if they're not going good with your kids on this day, there could be expanding. But if they are good with your children, then they're going to be expanding in a good way. They also, it could have to do with your creative life. If everything's been going in a positive direction, it'll keep going in a positive direction with your voice. But anything that Jupiter touches, it's going to either expand greatly, or if it's in a negative nature, it's going to make you see just how bad things are. And with Mercury in your fifth house of children, creativity in your dating life, you're going to see this. This is a day that it's all going to come to light positively, or it's going to come to light in a negative matter. Now, on the 12th, we have Mercury again in Aquarius in the fifth house, and that is squaring Uranus and Taurus in the eighth house. And you got to look at the changes in your behavior. You've got to look at the changes that you've been making, at the deepest part of who you are. Yes, you've always been a very fixed person in ideals, but those very things are changing within you, and you're voicing this, and you're just realizing it's your intimate relationships with those you date, your children, or in your creative endeavors, um, just aren't going in the direction that you want them to because of the deep changes that are happening with you. Then the 13th, we have got Mars in Taurus in the 8th house, squaring Saturn, and Aquarius in the 5th house. And the actions, again, that you're taking at the deepest level of who you are. I mean, this level is like the deepest level. You're looking at your soul. You're looking at, why you do the things that you do. And it's squaring the very structure that you have built within your dating life or your creative life or with your children again. If it's your children, you're just going to have to make them understand this is who you are and that they need to accept you for that. And if it's in your dating life, if they can't accept you at the deepest level of who you are and the actions that you're taking to change your life at a very deep and profound level, then you have to ask yourself, are they the right person for you? Then we have Venus in Capricorn in the 4th house, trining Uranus in Taurus in your 8th house. And those changes that you're making at the most intimate level of who you are for that transformation is making your home life more secure. It's, that home base and security, it's definitely the most, what can I say, most stable you've been for a while because of the changes that you have decided to make. I mean, you're not going to let fixed ideals of how things are supposed to be stop you anymore. You're moving beyond those fixed ideals. Now on the 14th, we have Uranus going direct again in Taurus in your 8th houses. And where you have been adjusting to the changes that you've been making at an intimate level, guess what? More changes are on their way because Uranus just went direct, which means it's now course correcting, and it still has some more changes it wants you to make at an intimate level. You wants you to get rid of more behaviors, more transformation. And it's okay because, I've got Pluto in my 1st house. That's all about transformation. Going to be there for a long time. Pluto for me starts at 16 degrees and ends at 27 degrees Aquarius. 16 degrees Capricorn, 27 degrees Aries, which means I'm going to go through massive changes and transformations all through this time. But I want you to know that the changes that you're making at a very deep and profound level, they're worth it, okay? And you'll see why you went through it all at the end of this Uranus transit that you're doing, because fixed ideals just aren't allowed anymore. You're growing, and the old you is nothing like the new you, okay? Therefore, your intimate needs change. Your intimate relationships need to change. Now, on the 14th, we have the Sun in Capricorn in the fourth house, conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn in the fourth house. I was just talking about Pluto, and for you, Pluto right now is in your fourth house, and he wants transformation in your home, your stability, your family life, and he's changing this and transforming it at a massive level for you. Now, on the 17th, we have Jupiter in Aquarius in the fifth house, and that squares Uranus in Taurus in the eighth house. And pretty much the eighth house, again, your most intimate relationships, your psyche and how you relate to others, and what others do for you, and the transformation that you make, okay, at the most intimate level is challenging how your children want to expand. It's challenging how the people that you date want to do things, or the people, your creative life, what you want to get out there, and how that's all changing for you. Now, on the 19th, we have the Sun in Aquarius, and it's entering for the next 31 days in your fifth house, okay? And you're going to put more attention into your dating life, your creative endeavors. You're also going to put more attention into your children, okay? You do want to fix everything in your life and change it for the positive. And sometimes you have to go through changes in order to get it there. Not everything's easy, but not everything's hard neither. So depending on what you're dealing with, you'll go from there. Now, on the 20th, we have Mars in Taurus in the eighth house, and that's conjunct Uranus in Taurus in the eighth house. And when it's Mars and Uranus involved together, that's electricity, okay? And it's in your eighth house. You could be having awesome sex that day with these two together. But you could also have massive changes that you're implementing intimately, you know, with yourself, with others, the things that you're doing, because let's face it, Libra, you're just not accepting things that you used to accept. You've went through all the changes, you've done all your growth, but now you're going on into a different area of life, and the same things that you wanted in the past aren't what you want now. And those that you're in an intimate relationship with, that could be your parents, that could be those that you date, that could be your children, just not working anymore. And I mean, it could also be that you're implementing a massive change, you know, to your life in a creative way. Then on the 22nd, we have Mars in Taurus in the eighth house, squaring Jupiter in Aquarius in the fifth house. And the actions you're taking at this time are challenging, you know, to the people that you love, whether it be the ones you're dating or your children. You know, but it's challenging for them, you know, to understand. So it is probably, you're going to have to deal with it, you know, and it could be challenging creatively too, with the actions you're taking with these massive changes. Now, on the 23rd, we have Venus in Capricorn in the fourth house, sextiling Neptune in Pisces in the sixth house. And for you, you know, we've got Venus sextiling Neptune here. And you're going to have to use that energy if you want to make good of it. But it could be a real good money day, or it could be a good day that you see the many facets in your work life or in your health. You know, things where you may have been disillusioned about your health, you now see that you got to make changes because something's happening. Okay. Then on the 23rd, we have the Sun conjunct Saturn. Okay. And that's in Aquarius in your fifth house, again with children, dating life, okay, or your creative endeavors. You feel like you're being held back. Saturn's holding you back. And yes, Saturn is. Saturn restricts what he touches. You don't feel like you can shine your life with that light with those that you date, or in your creative life, or with your children, you know, and it's just something you're going to have to work through. Then on the 26th, we have the moon again in Aquarius in the fifth house, and now it's squaring Uranus and Taurus in the eighth house. And those changes that have to happen with your fixed ideals about intimate relationships are challenging you in your dating life, okay? In your creative life, and, you know, with your children. You know, you want to make changes, but, you know, their ego is involved. So you got to tread on this quite lightly. Now, on the 28th, we have the Sun in Aquarius in your fifth house. And that is conjunct Jupiter in Aquarius in your fifth house. And this is a day that issues are going to expand to the good or the positive with your children, your dating life, and your creative endeavors, depending on how things have been going. And it's okay. Like, it could be in different areas, like things could be going great in a creative area, and bad with your children. And you're going to have to figure out how to change that. Or it could be going great with your children and bad with your creative endeavors. And you're going to have to take a look at that and figure out how to change it. And you will, because on the 30th, we get Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, and that's your fifth house at 26 degrees. And over the last 15 days, you've been seeing where some changes need to be made, Libra, here in your dating life, or with your children, or, you know, in a creative project. But you're not going to make it yet, okay? This is just a time of contemplation, thinking everything out. And, you know, then when Mercury moves forward and your thoughts are more clear about the direction, then you'll go from there. But, okay, Libra, I am using the goddess cards for you. And we are shuffling the goddess cards for, for the month of January. And we drew Ain, and I think it's funny. It's adaptability. And you know, Uranus has been putting you through a lot of intimate changes in that partnership sector at the most intimate level. And the goddess Ain is saying to be adaptable. Don't be so fixed in your ideals of what an intimate relationship should be. You know, you've changed. You have got to realize you're going to continue to change. You are not the person. Look at where you are now, Libra, and where you were 5 years ago. Okay. What message would you give to that person you were 5 years ago? You know, and you got to look at it like this. Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Okay. And it's going to be because of the changes. Sorry about that. Because of the changes that you go through. So look, you know, at how you can be adaptable in your life. Okay, Libra? For you, Libra, I would say this month, okay, is all about changing how you view intimate relationships and looking at the behavior you have used in intimate relationships and how it's not working. And the people that you're dating may not fit into the person you are now. They may, okay, and if they do, that's great because they have evolved to where you are. But if they don't, let it go, okay? Keep growing. Be who you are. Be positive. It's all great, okay? People have to grow. I mean, look at where you are, Libra. You have grown leaps and bounds over the last 5 years. So, anyway, Libra, I love you. Have a great month, and I'll see you next month. Bye bye.